Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we have my Week 16 NFL Power Rankings. So, going over last week's rankings and what those teams did in Week 15. Last week, at number 10, I had the Dolphins. They lost to the Bills 32-29. 9 was the Chargers. They beat the Titans 17-14. 8 was the Vikings. They had an unbelievable comeback win over the Colts, winning 39-36 in overtime. 7 was the Ravens. They lost to the Browns 13-3. 6 was the 49ers. They beat the Seahawks 21-13 on Thursday Night Football. 5 was the Bengals. They beat the Buccaneers 34-23. 4 was the Bills. They beat the Dolphins 32-29. 3 was the Cowboys. They lost to the Jaguars 40-34 in overtime. 2 was the Chiefs. They barely beat the Texans, winning 30-24 in overtime. And 1 was the Eagles, who beat the Bears 25-20. So this week's rankings, at number 10, I'm going to go with the Ravens. They're just barely remaining in my top 10 after they suffered the loss to the Browns. They were without Lamar Jackson since they started Tyler Huntley. The defense was really good, only allowing 13 points, but the offense was lifeless, only putting up 3 points. The Ravens now also lose the top spot in the AFC North, with the loss, but they do have the top wildcard spot in the AFC, and the Ravens just barely remain in my rankings at number 10. 9, we have the Giants. So they got a much-needed win over the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. It was their first divisional win of the season, and their defense had a great game, only allowing 12 points, where coming into this game, over the previous 4 games, they allowed about 32 points a game. So that was a huge win for the Giants, and they put themselves in a great spot for an NFC wildcard spot, and they currently sit in the 6th seed. Rookie Kayvon Thibodeau had a great game, 12 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble, which he also recovered for a touchdown. And the Giants, they enter my rankings after a big win over the Commanders. They enter at number 9. Number 8, we have the Chargers. So, like the Giants, they got a big win in terms of playoff seeding and playoffs. They defeated the Titans 17-14. The defense was great for the second week in a row. They were okay at holding Derrick Henry in check. He ran for a little bit over 100 yards. But they also only allowed 14 points. And for a defense that hadn't been great heading into the past few weeks, they've been pretty good. And the Chargers are also getting healthy at the right time, and they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. But right now, the Chargers enter at number 8. Number 7, we have the Vikings. They had an unbelievable comeback win over the Colts. The biggest comeback in NFL history. They came back down 33-0 at halftime to force overtime and then win it 39-36 in overtime. The defense was once again concerning, allowing 36 points to a not great Colts offense. But offensively, the Vikings were great. Kirk Cousins threw for 460 yards and 4 touchdowns. And that was the second straight week he was over 400 yards. And the Vikings, they also clinched the NFC North with the win. They come in at number 7. Number 6, we have the Cowboys. They lost to the Jaguars in overtime. The defense wasn't great. They struggled to stop the run and the pass. They allowed 318 passing yards and 192 rushing yards. Now, the good thing about this week is the Cowboys were able to clinch a playoff spot after the Giants beat the Commanders. So they're now locked in to a playoff spot, but they do need to figure out things defensively. But the Cowboys, they come in at number 6. Number 5, we have the 49ers. They beat the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football, winning 24-13 and clinching the NFC West in the process. They had a dominant run game and defense as usual. They ran for 170 yards. Brock Purdy also made plays when he needed. And as surprising as it may seem, the 49ers could be an extremely dangerous team that nobody wants to face in the playoffs, even with Brock Purdy at quarterback. They could end up winning the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy at quarterback because he's been pretty good for them so far. And the 49ers, obviously their defense is one of the best in the league, and a big reason they've been so good. The 49ers enter at number 5. Number 4, we have the Bengals. So the Bengals beat the Buccaneers, coming back from being down 17 points at the half. 14 points at the half. And they came out on top with the 34-23 win. Their defense was great, forcing 4 turnovers, and they also moved into first place of the AFC North with the win, and the Ravens lost to the Browns, and they're currently sitting in the 3 seed in the AFC. The Bengals in at number 4. Number 3, we have the Bills. They defeated the Dolphins 32-29 on a walk-off field goal in the snow and clinched a postseason spot. Josh Allen was great in the win. He had 304 passing yards, 77 rushing yards, and 4 touchdowns all through the air. And the Bills got a big win. Josh Allen looks like the MVP type Josh Allen. And the Bills, they clinch a playoff spot. They currently hold the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they come in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the Chiefs. So they barely snuck past the Texans in overtime, winning 30-24, and they barely remain ahead of the Bills in my power rankings. So now the Chiefs weren't great. They were good offensively through the air as usual, but they also ran for 189 yards, and that makes their offense even more dangerous when they have a good rushing threat as well. So the Chiefs, while the win wasn't great, going to overtime against the Texans, who's the worst team in the NFL, isn't great, especially when the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL, but a win is a win, and the Chiefs stay enter at number 2. And number 1 is the Eagles, no surprise there. They're number 1 after a win over the Bears, but they did lose quarterback Jalen Hurts to a sprained throwing shoulder, and Hurts might miss next week's game against the Cowboys, which would mean Gardner Minshew would start. But the Eagles, they got the win. They're the best team in the NFL, have the best record, and they enter at number 1. So those are my Week 16 NFL Power Rankings. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.